Hey y'all, it's your girl Mel here at Team U Finance. I just want to talk about one thing that's really important these days. Now, a lot of people talk about buying stuff, being able to afford the things that you really want to afford, the things that you really want to buy. But the one thing that I fail to see, a lot of people mention is literally like where you start from, and where we start from is having good credit, right? Again, as I've said in previous videos, I don't know how it was growing up, but credit wasn't really something that was discussed in my house. I knew that you had to have something to be able to buy the things that you want to buy other than the money, but credit wasn't something that was discussed. And growing up and becoming an adult and getting a job and, hustling and bustling through everyday life, you eventually learn about these things. But I would tell anybody that's starting out their journey, or somebody that wants to, buy anything, you need to have good credit. So what's the first step in having good credit? Well, the first thing that I would do to see where my credit was, or what my credit is, I would literally do the old-fashioned way of calling the three credit bureaus. The three credit bureaus are TransUnion, or the three major credit bureaus are TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And I would literally go online, or if not, regular telephone, get their 800 number and call them and say, hey, listen, I need a copy of my credit report, a hard copy of my credit report. They could send it to me through email or regular snail mail. And once I get the copy of my credit report, I would look at all the things that I have on it, what's not on it, because let me tell you, a lot of these things on your credit report, some of them are false, especially negative items. So I would literally get my credit report from the three bureaus and compare, and then I would also get my score and see where I rank, right? Because once I know that I have a good score, I can take that in anywhere I want to go, whether it be if I wanted to buy a car, I wanted to finance something, if I was in the market to buy a house, I needed to make sure that my credit is up to par. I have a good credit score. Or if not, that I have enough accounts or trade lines to basically build a credit score. One thing people need to realize is that when you want to buy anything and you go into a lender, they basically want to see from your credit report if you know how to manage money. In other words, if they lend you their money, they want to know if you can manage their money, or are you a candidate that's going to be able to pay them their money back. That's the point of you having a decent credit report, or having a credit report. You need to know what people are listing about you. So again, the first thing that I would do is I would literally get a copy of my three major credit reports. There's other credit bureaus that people use or know about, but for the sake of this video and what people use to qualify people for things, we're going to stick with the three: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. I would call those three bureaus or write them and get a hard copy of my credit report, or something I could put on my desktop, and literally sit there and see where I stand, what my credit's like, what my score is, and basically that would tell me, what I could afford to buy or what I can do. Once I know how good or bad my credit is, I could basically use it to get the things and buy the things that I want. So the first step in buying anything or even achieving anything, if you don't have the cash, which I doubt a lot of people just have a lot of cash sitting around, but if you don't have the cash, the very first step is to make sure that your credit is okay, that you have a decent score, or you have a score that's workable with the lenders. And once you do that, you should be on your way to buying, getting the things that you want to do. But first item of business is making sure that your credit is up to par, or that your credit is established. All right? And once you establish that credit, you're on your way to financial freedom and to buying the things that you want to buy, or building things to get financial freedom. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Another great day, okay? Hey, beautiful people. What's going on today? Today, we're going to be talking about building our credit, but more so specifically us getting our first credit card or getting a new credit card. All right, so first item of business. I know sometimes we're trying to buy stuff, and when we go to buy our things, the merchant might say, listen, you need to show that you have a little credit, or show that you've established credit. But the only problem is that you don't have a credit card. So the question is, how do I get that credit card, either that first credit card or another credit card, to reestablish my credit? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to get something called a secured credit card. Secured credit card is basically when you put up the money up front to allow the bank to give you credit. All right. So what does that entail? You have to basically Google a few banks or a few places that give secured credit cards. With a secured credit card, you're going to basically fund the credit card as opposed to the bank giving you the money up front. So for example, let's say you went into one of our major banks, Bank of America, or even a Wells Fargo, and you say, listen, you say to the banker, I need a credit card. And they say, well, you know what, let's apply. The only problem is that you don't have a credit history, or you're trying to rebuild that credit. So what you're going to do is you're going to basically apply for a secured credit card. You're going to put the money up. Generally, most banks, when you do get a secured credit card, they ask you to put up anywhere from $100 to $500. For the other two that I mentioned, the Bank of America or the Wells Fargo, those ones generally ask you to put up $500, and that's your own money. So like any other credit card application, you're going to apply. Once you apply, they're going to give you a decision, and they're going to say, hey, listen, you know, you're approved or you're most likely to get it. But in order for you to get the credit card active, you have to put some money up. At that point, they're going to withdraw some money from your account, and then you're going to have the use of a new credit card. All right. Now, with secure credit cards, bear in mind, the only difference is that, again, the bank is not funding you up front right away. You're the one that's putting up the money. But it's also a great way and a great tool to get a credit card. You don't have to wait. Now, you might say to yourself, well, what happens after I put up the money and I basically get the secured credit card? Now, the bank is going to watch you to see if you're responsible enough to get their own credit card in the end. So typically the banks usually watch you for a year, or they monitor your spending profile for a year. What does that mean? When you make a purchase, you pay for your stuff right away, or you pay most of your balance off each month. And as you're paying your balance off each month, you're also showing the bank that you're financially responsible. Some banks, although they might give you a year to really build up that credit profile, they might even give you increase. So they might say to you, hey, listen, I know you initially started off with maybe $100 limit for your secured credit card, but we're going to allow you to put more money in, maybe another $200 or $300, and get a higher credit limit, which is great, which is what you want to get. You want to build credit, and you also want to have a good amount of money to spend in your secure credit card. Once the banks watch you for the 1 year, you've done what you're supposed to do, a lot of times the banks will allow you to graduate the program. So what does that mean? For the 1 year that you had that credit card, you bought things, you made your purchases, you built your credit profile up, and after building your credit profile, you are basically allowed to establish a credit history. Mind you, for those 6 months, the bank was basically reporting through our 3 major credit bureaus, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And at the same time, your score is going up, you're showing the bank you're financially responsible, and you're building your credit profile. After 1 year, the banks let you graduate. And graduation basically means that they give you back the money that you had already originally put up. So for example, if you did this with Bank of America, and after a year, you've proven yourself, you made your payments on time, they graduated, Bank of America is going to basically issue back your check, the initial $500 that you put up. And then you're going to still have the credit limit open, but you're going to have their own money at their APR. I think it's a really good program, only because, again, like I said, you get to establish credit, you've proven your financial responsibility, and now you're graduating, getting your money back. So I know you're able to get your credit card. That is just, I think, a great way to get a credit card to start, either for a new person trying to build a credit history. It could be a student, it could be an adult, and it could just simply be somebody trying to rebuild their credit. You could rebuild your credit basically on your own terms with your own money. And it's kind of good to use your own money to build your credit, because you know why? You tend to be more responsible because you don't want your money or your investment to go down the drain. Again, we're all about building wealth, financial stability, and security. We want our money to work for us, not us keep working for our money. Well, we work initially, but in the long run, we want our money to work for us. So that is it, beautiful people. Hope you enjoyed this video. Comment, like, subscribe, share, and let me know if you open your secured credit card or where your credit journey began. All right, have a great day.